Michael Trout, do you ever not appreciate what he does on the baseball diamond?
No, and getting to know him all the years, and we kind of grew up with the same roots back in the Philly area, just knowing how passionate he is about sports and knowing what he's doing from the first day he was up here in the major leagues to what he's still doing now, how he treats fans every day, signs autographs before he's going out there facing somebody throwing 100 miles an hour on the mound, making great plays in the field, running the bases, showing the power, doing all these things where going back and down the road we're going to be saying we got to watch a Joe DiMaggio or a Willie Mays player playing now in his generation, so it's going to be cool to reflect on it.
I agree with that. And as a former player, Shohei Ohtani, did you ever think we would see someone like this?
No, I know this with his 20th home run, the 2 home runs he hit last night. I mean, now it gives him 3 years in a row with 20 home runs, 100 plus strikeouts in a season, and no one's ever done that. And he's done it 3 years in a row, so it's mind-boggling. We always joke around he's a unicorn, but last night when there was a couple of at-bats, I felt he is the best player in the world going right now because nobody's going to be able to ever duplicate what he's doing right now. No one. And I can honestly say there's never will be anybody like that.
What was the WBC moment like for you as an Angels broadcaster, seeing your two guys go up against it? What was that moment like for you personally?
Well, the funny thing was I was joking around. I had a chance to do an interview with both of them before they went to their teams. One, Shohei with Japan and then Trout with the USA. I said, what would it be like if these two ever, face each other? And Shohei was laughing, and he goes, God only knows, just joking around. And I was just laughing, and I asked Trout the same question. He looked at me and goes, what did Shohei say? I said, God only knows. He goes, oh, man, because he might be God himself. And that was, unbelievable, that moment. But it was great for the game of baseball. If Trout faces him two or three more times, it might be a different outcome. But when you're facing somebody that first time, it's really tough, especially the way Shohei was amped up and the way Trout was trying to do something special.
Just to piggyback off that, too, I was going to ask you, how big do you think that was for the game of baseball and just the WBC as a whole?
Huge. I know, obviously, there's been a couple injuries here and there that happened, but that's baseball. You'll see it even in spring training. But you're seeing people that were casual baseball fans become huge baseball fans. People that really didn't watch baseball at all become baseball fans, and obviously the big, huge baseball fans become even more so because that was great competition from the get-go and when spring training was just kicking in.
All right, and Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame. Can I take you? You did play with some legends as well. Can I take you back to those days? What was it like to play with George Brett?
Oh, he was incredible because, first of all, I got to live with him my first couple of years. And he took Saberhagen and myself under his wing, and we stayed there for the first few weeks of the season. Then he found us a condo to be able to live in. And then the next year, Saberhagen was already married, so he did the same thing with me before finding me a condo. But just watching him play every day. I always say when I compare Mike Trout to somebody in my era, I said it's a combination of George Brett and Bo Jackson. The wow factor for Bo and the baseball player and George Brett, and you make those into Mike Trout.
I mean, shoot, you just mentioned him right there, Bo Jackson, another polarizing figure. What was it like to experience his career on the diamond?
I mean, what he was unbelievable. I mean, you never walked away, even if you're not pitching that day. You made sure you're in the dugout all 9 innings. He could do something in the field like we saw when he made that great throw against Harold Reynolds in Seattle. I'll never forget that one because I'm sitting in the dugout thinking, I started, as soon as that ball was hit, I started to walk towards the clubhouse, and I just did a courtesy look back. I go, my word, that throws right on the money, threw him out. And it's watching him hit the ball. His first home run was 475, I think they said. I'm still convinced it was well over 500 feet, well over 500, because I've been there before with how far up on the grassy knoll up there in Kansas City before they put all the water fountains there on left center. The throws, the running the bases. His first hit was a ground ball to second base, and he beat it out. All those things. Then I got to watch. He gave me sideline passes every game for the Raiders games too, so I got to watch that. So, and how the football players were in all of them too. Usually, football players, they're a different animal out there. They want to kill everybody, but Bo was one of those guys, and be able to see what he did for, even though it was only a short period of time. You can make a comparison, the wow factor with him and Shohei. Really, that's why I tried to get Bo to meet Shohei, where I was going to do Bo no show. We were going to have some fun at some point. But those two, the things they're able to do and accomplish what they did, and Shohei's still doing, is truly amazing.
That has to happen, the Bo show. That's amazing stuff there. I really appreciate it. I guess just to get you out of here, the AL West. Obviously, Texas has made a tremendous leap. Houston will always be there.
Yeah.
But the Angels are back in the mix. How do you feel about just the landscape right now?
I really felt coming into the season the Angels would be competitive. I thought for sure they have a great shot at making the playoffs. And I mean, I've always been a big believer from the get-go. You don't even say our team wants to be competitive. I always say you want to be the World Series champion. I think that's the attitude they took with all the additions they made to the lineup, bringing in Drury, you bring in Renfroe, you bring in a Matt Moore, all the guys, the additions they made to make themselves stronger and deeper. That's all you're thinking about. And you know, Texas is great right now. That's a deep lineup, and they got some great pitching, even though DeGrom's not going to be around this year. Evaldi's been incredible. Houston's just unreal. I mean, they just, no matter who leaves or who gets hurt, they don't miss a beat. And in Seattle's a really good organization. They have great pitching, and they got Julio Rodriguez, so they're always going to have a shot. So this division, although the AL East gets all the conversation and all the pub, this division is as good as anybody in the game.
Mark, really well stated. Really appreciate the time, man. Thank you very much.
You got it anytime.